After more than 6 decades of living and experiencing the twists and turns of life, including 2 marriages that eventually ended, I still find myself feeling a certain longing, a deep, almost nostalgic yearning for connection and closeness. It's not simply about companionship, it's about sharing a spark, an energy that makes life feel vibrant again. In these moments of quiet reflection, I begin to imagine the person who might one day share that spark with me, the one who fits seamlessly into the tapestry of my hopes and desires. I envision her standing before me, eyes bright with curiosity and warmth, her smile both inviting and genuine. She's someone who carries herself with the confidence that comes not from vanity but from a profound acceptance of who she is. Her long hair frames her face softly, flowing with a natural grace that seems untouched by pretense or artifice. I picture her with an effortless elegance, the kind that needs no adornment because it springs from within. This imagined companion is both strong and gentle. She works with her hands as easily as she laughs with her heart. I see her as someone who finds joy in simple things, gardening, reading a book in the afternoon sun, sharing a quiet meal. Yet beneath that calm exterior lies a fiery spirit that ignites when the moment calls for it. She is endlessly curious, quick-witted, and able to hold a conversation that dances from serious to playful without missing a beat. Physical presence matters, but not in the way the world often talks about it. Her figure is comforting and real, the kind of presence that invites warmth rather than awe. I imagine the softness of her touch, the way her smile can lighten even the heaviest of days, and the simple kindness in her eyes that says, "You are seen and understood." These are the qualities that resonate with me most deeply. There's a quiet excitement in imagining how we might share moments of closeness, the gentle exchanges that build trust and deepen affection. It's the feeling of 2 souls syncing to a rhythm all their own, knowing glances, shared laughter, the comfort of a hand held in tender understanding. In this imagined space, desire is less about urgency and more about the joyful anticipation of connection. I find peace in this vision, not just because it promises companionship, but because it reminds me that the heart's needs are timeless. They evolve, yes, but they never truly fade. The longing to give and receive care, to feel alive in the presence of another, to be known beyond the surface, this is a song that continues to play quietly within me. And so, I hold this image close, a gentle beacon guiding me forward. It's a testament to the enduring hope that, no matter the years behind, new chapters await filled with possibilities both tender and exhilarating. As the days go by, I carry with me the warmth of this vision, nurturing the hope that somewhere ahead, this dream will take shape in the most beautiful and unexpected way. The afternoon sun filtered softly through the curtains, casting gentle patterns across the room where I sat in my favorite chair. A familiar warmth settled over me, a mix of comfort and stirring anticipation that made my thoughts wander, as they often did these days. I found myself reaching out, almost instinctively, to reconnect with a side of myself that time had not dulled, the part that still pulsed with vitality and yearning. My hand moved slowly, deliberately, as if savoring each moment of this quiet ritual. The touch was warm and reassuring, a small act of kindness toward myself. It felt like more than just physical sensation. It was a reminder that life still had spark and fire even now. I imagined the presence of that ideal companion nearby, watching with eyes full of quiet admiration and shared excitement. In the corners of my mind, I pictured her poised and graceful, her silhouette framed by soft light, ready for the dance that was about to unfold. There was no rush, no pressure, just a gentle unfolding, like wings spreading wide in slow motion to greet the sky. As my hand moved with a steady rhythm, the world outside the room blurred into insignificance. It was just the 2 of us, May, lost in the momentum of sensation, and her, an ever-present muse, encouraging and responding in her own way. The moment stretched out, thick and rich, filled with quiet moans and sighs that escaped me, soft and tender. I pictured the warmth reflecting in her eyes, the way her breath might catch as she watched, the unspoken connection that bridged the gap between imagination and reality. With every movement, I felt the familiar heat spreading, radiating outward like a gentle flame that pulsed in sync with my breath. The years behind me seemed to melt away, replaced by a fresh confidence in my own body's ability to feel, to respond, and to give pleasure. This was an elegant dance between thought and sensation, a reclamation of joy that often goes unspoken but remains deeply alive. The room was quiet except for the soft rhythm I created, steady and deliberate, a metronome to the symphony building within. I imagined her close now, a smile playing on her lips, as she watched with appreciation and desire. She reached out, letting her fingers trace tender paths along her own contours, a silent invitation and a mirror to my own journey. The way she touched herself was both playful and sincere, a celebration of the shared experience unfolding between us. I pictured her eyes meeting mine, full of that mischievous sparkle that said, "Take your time, enjoy every bit." The anticipation grew, layers of sensation weaving together in a tapestry of connection and release. My breathing quickened, matching the tempo of my own hands and her imagined responses. She edged closer in my mind, the space between us shrinking until it felt as if we were part of the same movement. Two bodies attuned to the same rhythm, hearts beating in unison. The focus sharpened, centering on the gentle sway of her curves and the smoothness of her skin. The imagined scent of her filled the room, sweet and intoxicating, drawing me deeper into the moment. She leaned forward just slightly, and I imagined the warmth of her breath, the softness of her voice whispering encouragement and desire. The slow crescendo built naturally, the momentum gathering like a rising tide destined to meet its shore. Every detail felt vivid, every sensation heightened. I was aware of the contrast between firmness and softness, warmth and coolness, the push and pull of energy as it traveled through us. Her fingers danced lightly, tracing circles that sent sparks to every nerve ending. I matched her movements, hands working in harmony, building toward that exquisite point where time seems to bend and all that matters exists only in this shared pulse. Then, with a soft gasp and a rush of sensation, the moment broke free, gentle, powerful, and pure. Our imaginary connection reached its peak, and as the wave passed, a deep sense of contentment settled in. The tension dissolved, replaced by that warm afterglow, a quiet space where laughter, whispers, and lingering touches find their place. We rested in the calm that followed, two souls connected beyond words, savoring the intimacy of the experience. In that peaceful aftermath, I felt younger, alive, and deeply grateful for the lasting promise of passion's gentle flame. The evening shadows deepened as the connection between us grew more intense, both in imagination and feeling. The quiet room seemed to pulse with a shared energy that brought us closer, even across the divide of thought and reality. Her presence was palpable, a magnetic force drawing me in with every glance and gentle motion. I found myself captivated by the delicate curves and natural beauty she carried effortlessly, each movement a graceful invitation, each glance a promise of more to come. There was a rhythm to our silent dance, one that played out in subtle touches and shared breaths, a communication deeper than words could ever express. My hands responded with increasing confidence, moving with both tenderness and purpose, exploring familiar territory, yet discovering fresh sensations each time. The warmth spread steadily, building momentum, filling the space between us with an intimate glow that warmed more than just the skin. It was as if every fiber of my being engaged in a symphony of feeling where sight, touch, and sound mingled in perfect harmony. She was close now, so close that I could feel the imagined heat radiating from her, her soft breaths mixing with mine in a sweet cadence. Her smiles were both playful and inviting, encouraging me to lose myself further in the experience. I pictured her hands tracing gentle paths along her own contours, a reflection of the care and pleasure we shared in this silent exchange. The sensation of her touch in my mind's eye was electric, prompting a flurry of responses that rippled through me like waves against a shore. Every detail was vivid, the subtle arch of her back, the tilt of her head, the way her eyes held mine with a spark that spoke of mutual desire and unspoken understanding. In this shared space, time seemed to bend and fold, the minutes stretching out to capture the fullness of each sensation and glance. As my motions grew steadier and more assured, I could feel the steady increase of warmth and tension, the signs of a peak that would soon arrive. Her gaze never wavered, It was fixed on me, a silent encouragement and celebration of the journey we were on together. I imagined the soft sounds she might make, the gentle encouragements that would fuel the fire kindling within us both. I could feel the pulse of anticipation quicken. Breathing deepened, muscles tensed in readiness to surrender to the inevitable and wonderful release. The imagined touch of her fingers became more insistent, drawing circles of delight that sent sparks through every nerve. Her presence was both a comfort and an exhilaration, grounding me even as the excitement rose like a crescendo to fill the air. The moment came with a surge of sensation, a wave that washed over and carried me to a place of pure, radiant release. It was gentle yet powerful, a perfect balance of tenderness and intensity that left me breathless and satisfied. In that instant, all the worries of the past and uncertainties of the future faded away, leaving only the radiant glow of shared pleasure and closeness. Afterward, the calm descended like a soft blanket, enveloping us both in warmth and quiet contentment. I imagined her resting back, a serene smile lighting her face, the afterglow of our connection reflecting in her eyes. The space between us felt charged with promise, a promise of many more moments like this, filled with laughter, understanding, and deep affection. In that peaceful silence, I felt a rare and precious kind of gratitude, the kind that springs from knowing that, even after all life's trials, genuine connection and joy remain beautifully within reach. The room took on a softer glow as the evening deepened, and with it, the intimacy between us flourished in ways both tender and exhilarating. She moved closer, confidence and warmth radiating from her every gesture, bridging the space between imagination and reality with a natural ease. Her presence was magnetic, inviting, and entirely captivating, the kind that makes the heart beat a little faster simply by being near. I could feel the electric charge in the air as our unspoken connection grew stronger, each touch and glance carrying layers of meaning that words would struggle to capture. The atmosphere pulsed with anticipation, a delicate balance of restraint and eagerness that made every moment feel charged with possibility. My hands reached out instinctively, tracing familiar curves and discovering new depths of sensation that seemed to ripple through both body and spirit. The gentle pressure of her skin beneath my fingers was grounding, while the rising heat within stirred a potent mix of desire and affection. Our shared experience was a dance of contrasts, softness paired with strength, patience blended with urgency, quiet moments broken by bursts of breathless joy. Imagining her reactions, the subtle shifts of expression, and the sweet sounds that might escape her lips added layers of intimacy that made the scene feel vivid and alive. With every passing second, the connection grew more profound, reminding me that the most enduring pleasures come from trust and mutual understanding. More than the physical sensations, it was the emotional resonance that held the deepest meaning, the way our imaginations intertwined to create a space where vulnerability was welcomed and celebrated. She was both muse and partner, navigating this delicate journey with grace and enthusiasm that awakened parts of me long dormant. Her laughter, soft and inviting, offered reassurance, while the intensity of her gaze conveyed a hunger that matched my own. I felt carried forward by a current of shared energy, buoyed by the promise of what was unfolding between us. The rhythm of our exchange quickened, hands moving with growing confidence, breaths becoming deeper and more synchronized. Moments of pause allowed us to savor the anticipation, while surging waves of sensation built steadily toward a crescendo. The sensory tapestry was rich, the warmth of her skin beneath my touch, the whisper of fabric against bare flesh, the taste of excitement hanging in the air like a sweet perfume. I imagined her softness meeting me, a tender welcome that was at once grounding and electrifying. Every flicker of expression, every silent exchange felt laden with meaning, weaving a fabric of connection that was as emotional as it was physical. The anticipation blossomed into urgency, a lovely tension that demanded and deserved release. As the climax approached, the room seemed to fall away, leaving only the vivid interplay of sensations and the shared pulse of desire reaching its peak. When the moment finally arrived, it swept over us like a wave powerful, cleansing, and pure. A gentle shudder rippled through, followed by a serene calm that wrapped around us like a soft embrace. In the aftermath, the glow of satisfaction mingled with the warmth of connection, leaving a trail of quiet contentment in its wake. She leaned back with a satisfied smile, her eyes reflecting the depth of our shared experience. The soft hush of the room held space for the lingering closeness, the subtle touches and lingering glances that speak volumes without words. In that peaceful quiet, a promise hung between us that this was but one moment in a journey rich with affection, discovery, and shared joy. The comfort of that thought settled deep within me, a balm for the soul and a beacon for what lay ahead. This dance of closeness, desire, and mutual care reminded me of the timeless truth that connection is the heart of life itself, ever ready to surprise, delight, and sustain us when we open ourselves to it fully. The night settled gently around us, the quiet hum of the room matching the calm that had wrapped itself around our shared moment. As the warmth of connection lingered, I felt a deep sense of ease settle within me, a peaceful contentment born from the tenderness we had just shared. She moved with relaxed grace, her body curling naturally into the comfort of my arms, creating a cocoon of closeness where nothing else seemed to matter. In that embrace, time slowed and the outside world faded, leaving only the quiet rhythm of breathing and the soft beating of hearts attuned to one another. There was a softness to her presence that invited me to simply obey no expectations, no pretenses, just two souls resting gently together. It was the kind of intimacy that goes beyond the physical, an unspoken understanding that fills the quiet spaces with meaning and warmth. Her head rested against my chest, and I could feel the subtle rise and fall of her breath, steady and sure. My fingers traced absent-minded patterns along her back, a soothing gesture that spoke of care and gratitude. The moments stretched out, comfortable and unhurried, a contrast to the earlier intensity but just as fulfilling in its own right. I could sense her eyelids fluttering as she yielded to the calmness that surrounded us, the perfect ending to the journey we had begun together. The night carried a gentle promise, a sense that this closeness was something to be nurtured, cherished, and returned to again and again. The feeling wasn't just about physical touch. It was about the way we had allowed ourselves to be vulnerable and open, to share without reservation. It was a reminder that companionship goes hand in hand with deep respect and affection, building a foundation that supports and uplifts. I found myself reflecting on how rare and precious such connection is, especially in a world so often hurried and distracted. Here, in these quiet moments, I felt the true luxury of being truly seen and wholly accepted. With a gentle shift, she lifted her head and met my gaze. Her eyes shone with a mixture of joy and serenity, an unspoken acknowledgement of the bond we had forged. A soft smile curved her lips, a smile that reached all the way to her soul. It was as if, in this brief chapter of our shared story, we had created a sanctuary where longing was satisfied and hearts were mended. The tenderness between us lingered, wrapping around us both like a warm blanket against the cool night air. In that stillness, I could sense the quiet joy that comes from two people simply being together. No need for words or grand gestures, just the truthful comfort of presence. The hours slipped by unnoticed as we remained entwined, lost in the simplicity of each other's company. The peacefulness was broken only by the occasional sigh or whispered word, tender reminders of the trust and affection binding us. Eventually, as sleep beckoned, she nestled closer, and I wrapped my arms around her firmly yet gently, offering the security that comes from shared warmth. It was a perfect moment to pause and give thanks for connection, for companionship, and for the enduring hope that such moments could be found time and again. As we drifted off, hearts beating softly in tandem, I knew that no matter what the future held, this quiet intimacy would remain a beacon of comfort and joy to carry with me through whatever came next.